Welcome to an episode. I think I'm gonna change a few things around on the channel. There's gonna be a new playlist on my channel called I Know Ball. Basically just football, NBA, MLB, sports, rants. Not rants, but podcasts. Today's episode, judging by the title, is the NFL coaching carousel is some of the wildest stuff I've ever seen. All right, Mike Tomlin stepped down from being the head coach today. Which is understandable, you know. The fans were tired of him for, a year or two. Maybe even 3. And I said this earlier in one of my other videos, maybe. Or in a video that wasn't uploaded. I'm kind of tired of, alright, we got a quarterback that's developed, but we're not winning playoff games. What's the problem? With Mike Tomlin, I could see that. But, the Steelers, they've had, 4 head coaches ever? 4 head coaches in 60 years or some crazy shit like that. That's pretty insane. They're not known for firing coaches. They're known for giving their coaches a chance and patience, which is what you kind of want as a head coach. I would argue, everything. The Steelers front office, too, overpaying on defense, paying a lot on defense, not getting... You gotta fire the fucking offense coordinator. Arthur Smith should be unemployed. I mean, if we have John Harbaugh, we have Mike Tomlin, we have Mike McDaniel, we have Brian Dable, we have fucking Kevin Stefanski, all looking for jobs, and the OC for the Pittsburgh Steelers still is employed. It is crazy. I would much rather have Nico Harris, the guy who traded Luka to the Mavs, for Anthony Davis and a bunch of shitters, be my OC. I mean, my lord. I'd much rather have MMG be my fucking OC, Anywho, that's besides the point. If I'm the Miami Dolphins, and then you look at, all right, why are they unemployed, right? And for the teams that don't have head coaching jobs, well, Mike McDaniel, why his defense was never stellar. We did have that good year in 2023. So what kind of stalled out? Well, you played the Chiefs in the playoffs. You played against Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, it's gonna be kind of hard to beat him in the playoffs. And your quarterback play has been awful. Tua was a great guy, I'm fucking sure, but he can't throw a damn ball when it's under 50 degrees. That's an issue for him. Oh, he's only good when he has Tyreek Hill. No, you're just not good ever. You're great when you're playing at home, right? When it's above 50 degrees, but the moment you see a fucking snowflake, you got defense just like oozing at the mouth. They're foaming at the mouth because you can't complete a pass when it's too cold. Go quit your bitching. Throw a ball. Right? So that's not really Mike McDaniel's fault. He did go 35-35. We did blow out the Denver Broncos 70-20. What people are forgetting. I wouldn't have fired him. The fact that he finished 35-35 with his quarterback having 3 or 4 concussions. We've had 5 different starting quarterbacks in that 4-year span, and we made the playoffs. I wouldn't have fired him. I would have kept him around for this next year. I would have got rid of Tua, see what we can do without Tua. If the new quarterback was showing some promise, whether that's Quinn Ewers, Zach Wilson, or Fernando Mendoza, or whatever happens, then all right, then you can stay another year, and if it's looking up from there we go. If it takes a shit, sorry, we gave you 2 extra years. That would be my plan. They fire their GM, which is kind of enticing. 2 head coaches, believe it or not. Oh, they're so ready to fire people. No. If you're a head coach, you can get your guy in the building, guys you can trust, and guys that you've worked with in the past, right? Like a Mike McTomlin would love that. Veteran coaches would, love that. So that wasn't a bad move. And then they instantly hired a guy. By instantly, they hired him. I would have waited till the coaching carousel would have been over to start. I would have waited till you got a head coach to start hiring your GM. Because your head coach should be like, all right, well, I don't like that guy. So if I'm at the Miami Dolphins, I have the second richest owner in the NFL. I'm going to go after Jim Harbaugh. Hey, Jim or John, I couldn't tell you the difference. Who would name their kid Jim or John and they look fucking eerily similar. And they, you know, I think it's John Harbaugh. I'm just gonna say John. I'd be like, hey, name your price. You're the fucking head coach. And if you don't like the GM, we'll fire him. We'll get your GM. That's what I'll fucking say. You know, we know Tua's not the guy. Get him out. You know, find your plan. We're back. I got a truck shoved so far up my ass you wouldn't believe. I get shocked. So that's how I'd handle the Dolphins situation. Now the Ravens, I would hire Mike McDaniel. Why? He's not really a leader of men. No one really there is a leader of men. I wouldn't say Lamar Jackson is. I would say Derrick Henry's like the type of guy you would follow in a battle, but you wouldn't. I feel like everyone's their own individual, but they play as a team, which is fine because the Bills do it. But yet the Bills haven't won a Super Bowl, and they haven't actually made a Super Bowl. And they can't beat Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow. So that should tell you a little bit. That's where I'd go if I'm Mike McDaniel, because your play calling is not just limited to a pocket passing quarterback who's injury prone, but you got a guy that can run the ball, right? And you got, a power back. You know, Devon Achane was fucking amazing. He had a better season than Derrick Henry. That's a bit crazy to think about. But, you know, you didn't have Kyle Hamilton. You didn't have the Ravens defense, which is actually miles ahead of the Dolphins, except for, corner could use some work, but maybe a little bit edge. Kevin Stefanski, I don't think he was that fucking great. I think he was great when he had Baker Mayfield, but then he decided to give him away. Jerry Jeudy's not a number one receiver. He should never be a number one receiver on any team. I think you need another receiver. He's kind of a physical route runner. I would say you need a more pure route runner, run after catch type of guy, like a Ryland Davison. But and if you think that the Browns should not draft a quarterback or should not go get one in free agency or should keep their quarterback situation the same, you are the same type of fan that thinks that Seahawks should have actually passed the ball instead of run the ball with Marshawn Lynch against the Patriots in the Super Bowl. So that should say a lot about you, because you don't know ball. If you think Shador's the guy, he's not. He's a good backup, right? His ego's too big for not being good. Cam Ward is miles better. Oh, well, who had more wins? Yeah, but who had a way better coach? Who had a way better defense? Who has a way better, rookie class? The Browns. Who played shitters? By shitters, I mean, name me 3 players. Well, let's go with this. Name me 3 players on the Tennessee Titans on that defense. Yep, you can. Name me 5 players on the Tennessee Titans offense. You can't. All right. Name me their head coach this year. You can't. Okay. So, what are we talking about here? With the Browns, you can name about 30 guys before you ever. Anywho, Kevin Stefanski, where should you go? I would say what's a similar situation is the Giants. Like MetLife, just a horror show with quarterbacks. I think Jackson Dart is too injury prone for my liking. I think he's talented, but Cam Scadaboo is not some great fucking running back. He runs like he wants CTE, which is fine and all, until you get it, and then until he's dead, or until he becomes too injury prone. Oh, that his rookie contract's too much, And if your rookie contract's too much, then you were never that good. I think Cam Scadaboo is going to get hurt next year. I think he'll just be third down, fourth down running back, but that's kind of even going out of the window because the tush push. So I think he'll be a career backup running back. His personality makes him attractive. By attractive, I mean an attracted to player, like a Conor McGregor. People love Conor McGregor, not because everyone attracted to that personality. The big ego, kind of like the different personality. That's what we're attracted to for the Giants. The quarterback who dates only baddies, and he's kind of immature. Would you want your quarterback to have the same maturity level as Jackson Dart? No. But you know who his head coach was in college? Lane Kiffin. You know what Lane Kiffin's known for? Risen up the Pilates instructors at LSU, Ole Miss, and getting with the students. So, yeah, maturity thing is kind of there. I think, but I mean, you got to look. Besides that, they got some dogs. They got Andrew Thomas. They got Cam Scadaboo's talented for next year. Malik Neighbors comes back next year. He's the best player in that fucking offense by 2 miles. And you got Jackson Fart throwing the ball. He's not awful. He showed some promise. And then you got Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston in the back, in the backups. And then you got on the defense. I mean, you got Brian Burns. I mean, you got some dogs. You got Dexter Lawrence. You got Kayvon Thibodeau. You got some good pieces. I wouldn't, that front seven's a bit scary too. But kind of need a quarterback. I would trade Jackson Dart for Fernando Mendoza in a fucking heartbeat if I was New York Giants. Hey, Jackson Dart, love ya. Cam Scadaboo posts some shit on fucking YouTube or Twitch or some shit. He'd be pissed. Well, Cam Scadaboo, you want to go join him? I'd kill for Ashton Genty. I'm much rather Ashton Genty and Fernando Mendoza than Jackson Dart and Cam Scadaboo. And if you're disagreeing with that take, you clearly have not watched a single fucking college football game all year. If you watched how accurate Fernando Mendoza was just this playoffs, you would be like, alright, I get what he's fucking talking about. But if you disagree, you're just too obsessed with the personality. Yeah, so Kevin Stefanski, that would be the place I'd go. The Raiders, what kind of culture does that, I don't know, they lack leadership in the front office, the head coach quarterback was just, that was a bit toxic. I mean, but hey, Ashton Genty had 1,200 yards rushing, and 1,000 of that was after contact. So that's pretty good against the worst offensive line in the league. And they also beat the Patriots, who are the number 2 seed, and have just beat the Chargers. So yeah, I would kind of say their futures are the brightest. I would say their future's more bright than the Dolphins. I'd say the future's more bright for them than the Browns. I'd say the future's more bright for the Raiders than the Giants. If I'm Mike Dunn, okay, I don't know. Their owners have been known to be extra. I know Mike McDaniel could fit there. I mean, but they also have Brock Bowers. You guys forget, who won Rookie of the Year and was actually probably the best tight end in the NFL last year, and that's not a crazy statement to make. And they got Max Crosby. Fuck. I think the Jets. Now, I was watching one of my favorite YouTubers, and this guy said the Jets are gonna. They could. It's not unrealistic. Trade down. Not trade down. It was more of the Cardinals trading Kyler Murray for the number 2 overall pick from the number 3. I don't hate it. Right? I mean, the Jets don't have a bad O-line. They have an awful defense. They don't have a... I don't know. When you have a defensive head coach, you really need a good OC. And the fact your defensive head coach actually had the worst defense in probably years. Not probably. Definitely years. One of the worst defenses I've ever seen in my life. And the Dolphins had a chance to play him twice, by the way. We beat them both times. So... I mean, they didn't have a single interception. That was probably that's the worst defense I've ever seen since I've been alive. So yeah, I would actually just fire Aaron Glenn. Like, hey, you can stick around as a DC. Actually, no, just get out. You're supposed to be a DC, right? But you're not the head coach, so you could be calling defensive plays, but your defense played so badly that we're all right around here. So that's not an awful idea. Who else could fit that? I don't know. Sean McDermott. For me, it's really Super Bowl or bust. I mean, yeah, you got Joey Bosa, you got Deion Dawkins. You don't have a single fucking wide receiver. You got James Cook, though, league's leading rusher, and you got Josh Allen. So you kind of don't. You're not completely awful, right? But to me, if it's you and the Patriots in the AFC championship and you lose, Sean McDermott, you're fucking out. You're out. You're out. You're out. You're out. You're out. I know it's any given Sunday, but and the only way his job could be safe is if the damn Broncos win the Super Bowl, because that is just absurd. If you're going to lose to any team, you might as well lose to the team that's going to win the Super Bowl, you know. So, I would almost fire Sean McDermott if they lost on Saturday. I'd actually pray. And you know what, take that job? Mike Tomlin would actually be like, all right, yeah, I'm going to go there. Or, you know, Jim Harbaugh. They're going to wait till the Bills lose. You're not going to see a lot of movement yet. If so, you're going to see like a Brian Daboll. I think he's going to be a Tennessee Titan at HC. I think he'll be a Titans head coach because he's grasping at straws for not coaching for a year. I think I think Dick Shula could be a head coach. For who? Hopefully not the damn Dolphins, even though the last name fits. But yeah, Cardinals, I just think they're fucked. You're fucked. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little coaching carousel episode. Thank you for watching.